Today we're going to be testing the Neo, we're going to be testing the Flip, we're going to be testing the Mini 4 Pro. We're going to use the DJI Air 3 and we're going to use the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. We're going to get the big boys out, we're going to get the DJI Inspire 3 out, and we're going to get the brand new DJI Matrice 4 Thermal out. Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, welcome to another video. The weather's awful as we know, hopefully spring is in the air very, very soon. We call spring and obviously summer drone season, where obviously things get really, really busy for us. To be fair, January's been quite good and obviously February's been quite good. We're also seeing quite a few of you coming in the store, which is really, really great. So if you do pop in, please come and say hello. Due to the weather, we were going to go outside and do something really quite cool, which is going to come in the next video. But today we're going to stay indoors and we are going to do the ultimate DJI battery hover test. Now, before we get started, there's lots of factors you need to understand when it comes to obviously how drones perform and obviously their battery life. I've got a sheet here which obviously shows all the claims, flight times, which are actually going to be in a hover. So today we're doing a hover test. And inside is perfect weather. Obviously we have no wind in here. Treat this a bit like a car miles per gallon, where cars say, oh, you get 50, 60 miles per gallon, some people only achieve 45. The interesting thing about DJI's claimed figures is they're 100% battery to 0% battery, but I don't think we're going to actually get to 0% battery because of the safety features that are now obviously included with DJI drones. I remember years ago flying my Inspire 1 in Portsmouth, and I remember it flying back with 0%, and I was thinking, is it going to fall out the sky? And it didn't. So there's a huge amount of redundancy built into drones now, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see how close we can get these drones in the air to that obviously magical 0% figure. Today we're going to be testing the Neo, we're going to be testing the Flip, we're going to be testing the Mini 4 Pro. So they're obviously DJI's sort of most popular sub 250 gram drones. And again, with a 250 gram drone, all you need to do is pop an operator ID on it and you're away. There's no distances, providing you deem it safe. We're then going to step up our game a little bit. We're going to use the DJI Air 3 and we're going to use the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. These are obviously more professional consumer drones. You know, some of these have got flight times up to 41 minutes, so it'd be very, very interesting to see how close we can get. And then lastly, so the finale, we're going to get the big boys out, we're going to get the DJI Inspire 3 out, which is quite, you know, a very, very heavy drone, and we're going to get the brand new DJI Matrice 4 Thermal out to see how that does. So let's get them set up, let's get going. So it's about 17, 18 degrees in here at the moment, so that's obviously our ambient temperature. We are going to test the temperature of the drone batteries, or the drones, if they've got internal batteries, we're going to test the temperature to see what the temperature is to start with. We're also going to test what the temperature is afterwards, and what we're also going to do is we're going to screen record every single drone, and we're going to see exactly how far we can get to that magical 0%. Because I don't think you can get to 0%. And again, I haven't done this before, so it's going to be really interesting, not just for me, obviously, conducting the experiments, but obviously for you guys watching at home. So we're going to start off with the Neo. The Neo has a flight time in hover of approximately 18 minutes or 17 minutes without the prop guards. So we're going to take the prop guards off. The DJI Flip has a claimed hover of 31 minutes, and the DJI Mini 4 Pro has a claimed time of 30 minutes, so it could be quite fun in a bit when I'm trying to keep these two drones in the air. We're inside, there's no aviation law, so we can fly 3 drones quite close together. The only risk is really to my building and the equipment. So let's test the battery temperature before we get going. The Neo battery is on 20, or say 20.5. The Flip battery is on 25.5. And the Mini 4 battery is on 24.5 as well. So they're all really relatively the same. Let's just check that again. The Neo battery is colder, which is interesting. So anyway, let's get the test underway. So this is our sub 250 gram drone hover test setup. I've got 3 remote controllers. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to screen record from every single one of these remote controllers. we can obviously overlay that on the video. I'm going to do an auto takeoff. As I do, I'm going to set the stopwatch and let's see how close we can get to the claim times. If you've just joined in and you missed the first part of the video, the Neo will hopefully go for 17 minutes, because we're going to leave the prop guards on. The Flip, hopefully 31 minutes, and the Mini 4 Pro to 30 minutes. Obviously, this is DJI's claim time from 100% battery to 0% battery. Now, we all know DJI won't let these drones fly in the air at 0%. I think we might be at 15, 20%, and obviously some battery in reserve. But let's get them in the air, let's get screen recording, let's start this stopwatch, let's get this test underway. So let's get all this ready to go. Take off. That's ready, that's ready, that's ready. So press start.
Something's in the air.
And there we go, they're all up. So we're coming up to 2 minutes now. This is why, I love DJI drones. They've obviously got downward vision sensors, but you can just see just exactly how stable they are. Nothing's obviously phases them at all. If these were outside now and the wind come, you would hear the motors going a bit quicker, so it's obviously fighting to leave it in the position, because obviously outside you use GPS and obviously inside we don't. But another interesting thing is it's not actually that noisy in here, bearing in mind we have 3 drones in the air. So we're just coming up to just under 3 minutes. The Flip is saying it's got 10 minutes or so, just under 11 minutes remaining of flight time. That's on 72%. Again, the claim time is 17 minutes with a prop guard. So say 11 add 3 is going to be 14 minutes, but obviously that's not to 0% as DJI's claims. The Flip is currently showing 21 minutes left. It's been going for 3 minutes exactly now, so that's 24 minutes. And obviously a flight time of 31 minutes. And the Mini 4 Pro has got the highest flight time at the moment. It's saying 25 minutes, and that's 86% battery remaining. So let's crack on with the test.
It keeps crippling. Now that you're looking up, I can see it in your eyes that lately it's been tough.
So the Neo is now on 22%. I believe we're going to get a battery warning at about 20% for low battery. So 21% on the Neo. Flip's way out of warning, and obviously the Mini 4 Pro's way out of warning. So it's obviously going to be the Neo that's going to start landing first. So I'm going to do all I can to keep it in the air to really try and get that flight time up. We're now at 11 minutes. Neo has a claimed flight time with propellers on, claimed hover time with propellers on, 17 minutes. So we're now on 17% on the Neo, no warnings yet. I always thought the warnings come on at about 20%. So we're 15% on the Neo, 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes on the Neo. We're now at 15% on the Neo, no warning lights at all. Here we go, we've got low battery. Low battery at 15%. Return to home promptly. We're going to leave it in the air. And I'm going to do all I can in my power to keep this drone in the air for as long as possible. We're now coming down to 13% battery. 12 minutes on the clock, just under 2 minutes remaining. %, on the Neo. The Flip and the Mini 4 Pro still perfect. But what's interesting is the Mini 4 Pro, here we go, confirm. Critical low battery, so here we go, so critical low battery. I'm trying to keep it in the air as long as I can. So if I didn't use the controller now, if you see by the camera, it would auto land. I'm keeping it in the air. And here we go, we've got 8%. It's saying 58 seconds remaining. Okay, so the estimated time is still in the air. I'm still holding it manually. Come on, Flip. Come on, Flip. Okay, we've now got bleeping. We're now at 13 minutes on the Flip. It's still in the air. It's 5% battery on the Flip. Come on, let's see how much. We've now gone to 4% battery. Coming up to 13 minutes. 3% battery on the Neo. 2% battery on the Neo, it's still in the air. I'm still holding it manually. Right, here we go. We're now 1% and it's still in the air. 1%, we're still in the air. 1% still in the air. Coming up to just under 14 minutes. 0% now. This is brilliant. 0%, we're still in the air. Still in the air. Low battery warning, fly with caution. Come on, get to at least 14 minutes. We're over the 14-minute mark. It's told me again, it's bleeping at me. Oh, here we go, that's it. Oh, come on, stay up, stay up, stay up. 14 minutes, 20 seconds for the Neo. Now the flip's landed, let's just take a reading of what the battery temperature is. So the battery is 35 degrees C. 35 degrees C, that one. Just under 21 minutes remaining. The Mini 4 Pro is now on 19% battery, and the Flip is on 21% battery. The Flip should have an extra minute on the Mini 4 Pro. What's really interesting is the Mini 4 Pro was showing signs of being a clear leader, but it's actually got really, really close now. So we're at 21 minutes. You know, got to admit, 21 minutes is still an absolutely incredible time for something so small with such a light battery to stay in the air. But we're still going. We've got 17%. We're going to start get some warnings in a minute. I think the Mini 4 Pro is going to be coming on at about 15%. The other thing to notice is, and this may reflect the flight times, obviously in DJI's favour and our favour, is that we have had these in sport mode just to turn all the obstacle avoidance off, just to save them bleeping at the controllers and stuff. So that made a bit of a difference, but again, they are in a hover. So we're cutting to 15%. Here we go. So I've now got a low battery warning on the Mini 4 Pro. So that's saying 3 minutes 30 remaining. The Flip is at 17%. So again, the Flip should have a slightly better flight time than the Mini 4 Pro. Return to home promptly. But again, we all know that there's trickery. You know, you'll probably find DJI so clever, they've worked out if it's still half a mile away, you know, it's going to come back. So this could get quite busy for me in a minute, trying to keep these two drones in the air. So, confirm we don't want to, oh, so it's landing. So the Mini 4 Pro is trying to land at just under 23 minutes. The interesting thing is it's now turned the obstacle avoidance on for me again. So it didn't have obstacle avoidance on. So even though it's in sport mode, when it defaults to trying to get home, it does turn the obstacle avoidance on. That's really interesting. We've got the DJI Flip, that's bleeping at me. So the Mini 4 Pro controller's now red, 2 minutes remaining. I'm holding the stick to keep it in the air. DJI Flip's on 11%, that's just about to go to 10%. They're flashing, they're bleeping at me. Coming up to 24 minutes. Right, good low battery on the Flip. Cool, I've got all sorts of stuff going on here. Sounds like an emergency ward at the hospital at the moment, all these bleeping going on. Right, confirm the Flip. The Flip's going to land. Okay, so I've now got both of them on the stick, manually trying to keep them in the air for as long as I can. Everything's bleeping like mad. What's really interesting as well is the Flip has now turned its obstacle avoidance on as well. Trying to keep them in the air and again, these are like 30 minutes, 31 minutes. So let's see, so hopefully the Flip will stay in the air longer than the Mini 4 Pro. Coming up to 24.5 minutes. still in the air. So, still trying to keep them in the air. Coming up to 25 minutes. So what I'm going to do with these two, I'm going to fly them up high now to try and give them as much help as possible to try and get that maximum flight time. So I'm going to go up high with them, just to see if we can increase that flight time every last little bit. All sorts of warnings going on. We've got 0 time remaining on the Mini 4 Pro. We've got 1% remaining on the DJI Flip. Come on Flip, you can beat the Mini 4 Pro. Still in the air, we're coming up to that's 26 minutes. It's incredible. Something so small with such a small battery can fly for 26 minutes. You know, if I tell you to stand in one place for 26 minutes, you'll be bored after 5 minutes. Here we go. So I've got critical low voltage on the Mini 4 Pro. Mini 4 Pro still in the air. Both on 0%, they're still flying. I'm going to increase my altitude a little bit more just to try and keep them in the air as long as possible. Incredible. Right, landing. So that's the Mini 4 Pro gone. So that's the Mini 4 Pro gone at just under 27 minutes. Incredible. And the Flip. Okay, I've got the Flip now. The Flip's gone. Critical low voltage. I'm going to still raise the Flip, see if I can go any higher, just to keep it in the air as long as I can. Come on Flip. The Flip's at 27.5 minutes. Claimed hover time of 31 minutes. Incredible. See if I can go up a little bit higher. Let's try and keep this in the air as long as I can. And again, this is all manual input. If I let go of the sticks, it would just land, auto land. 28 minutes. Oh, here we go, that's gone. That's gone, here we go. Touchdown. Would you believe that's exactly 28 minutes? Incredible. So we've got 28 minutes on the Flip. And I can't remember what we had on the Mini 4 Pro, but it'll be on the video anyway, so obviously I'll get Dave to overlay that. But what an absolutely fascinating, cracking little experiment. The Neo obviously fell quite short. Obviously it had prop guards on as well. The DJI Flip did really, really well. And obviously the Mini 4 Pro did really, really well as well. But, you know, we all know there's extra trickery in these. We all know that DJI are very, very clever about their battery, obviously their battery technology. So I believe there's still some juice left in these. But, you know, to get so close to the claimed flight time into 2025, when I remember years ago, there was such a difference. Really, really incredible. But for something so small to fly for that long is incredible. And that just shows you how light the drones are now, and also the battery technology. Now they've landed, I've taken the Mini 4 Pro battery out. Let's just do a quick temperature test on that. It's obviously much hotter. That's coming at basically 51 degrees C. Let's take the DJI Flip battery out. And that is slightly hotter. That's at 54. Now, just a little tip for you. If you do need to recharge batteries after you've obviously been flying, please don't charge them from warm. Let them cool down a bit. and then obviously pop them on charge 15-20 minutes later. So that was DJI's sub 250 gram test concluded. As you can see, some quite really interesting results. The Neo did fall a little bit short, but really impressed with the Mini 4 Pro and also the Flip as well. It still amazes me how these drones can fly for so long with such light batteries. You know, anything in the air for nearly half an hour is incredible. We're now going to up our game. We're going to go over the 250 gram limit. We're going to test the Mavic 3 Pro and we're going to test the Air 3S. I've got the battery here for the Mavic 3 Pro, so let's just give that a temperature test. That's currently on about 18 degrees. And the Air 3S battery is currently on about 19 degrees. Let's get these set up, let's get screen recording, let's get these in the air, let's obviously set the stopwatcher and see how we get on. We're just about to pop these two drones in the air, just to confirm the flight times or the actual claimed hover time. This is from 100% to 0% battery. The Air 3S has a claim time of 41 minutes and the Mavic 3 Pro has a claim time of 37 minutes. I'm going to pop them on the floor, I'm going to set the timer, do an auto takeoff, let them hover and see how the action pans out. They're ready, so let's start the stopwatch. Let's get them in both in the air. And here we go, let's start the test. Noticeably, there's already a lot more noise in here. You can see they're actually moving about slightly more. That's obviously because they generate so much thrust and obviously the propellers are much, much bigger. But as you can see, they're very, very stable still, both on very, very high amounts of battery. We've got the Mavic 3 Pro on 94% and we've got the Air 3S on 91%. Let's crack on with the test. Each drone is producing quite a bit of wash now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to up the height of them slowly, just to try and get a bit of cleaner air. Let's pop them up, see if they're a little bit happier, a little bit higher. That's much better. So by raising them, I've eliminated the wash quite low down, and they're both sitting much happier, so hopefully they're both using less fuel now, or obviously less battery. Coming up to just under the 5-minute mark. The Air 3S is saying it's got 31 minutes. So 31 adds, obviously 5 is 36. That's got a claimed flight time of 41 minutes and a hover. And the Mavic 3 Pro is currently on 84% with 32 minutes with a claim time of 37 minutes. So again, it's looking like the Mavic 3 Pro slightly overtaking the Air 3S. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's check back in at the 10-minute mark. We're now over 11.5 minutes. The Mavic 3 Pro is showing 65% battery and 21 minutes and 53 seconds remaining. And the Air 3S is now on 67% battery and that's showing 24 minutes remaining. We'll come back to you in about 20 minutes. The pre-20 minutes update. Air 3S is currently on 47%. Just over 16 minutes of flight time remaining as per the DJI's calculated computer. And the Mavic 3 Pro is currently, can't get my glasses, just turned to 39% and that's 13 minutes 10 seconds remaining. It's quite breezy in here. Obviously these are much bigger drones than the other ones, but even for something to stay in the air for 20 minutes and be on just under 0.5% battery is phenomenal in my view. Both of these are set to normal mode this time, so the obstacle avoidances are bleeping at me. I say just under 21 minutes now. We'll come back to you at half an hour when things will get quite interesting. And remember, half an hour is a long time for anything to stay in the air. The Mavic 3 Pro is just about to hit the 15% mark. Here we go, so I've got low battery. So low battery warning at 15%. Still got 4 minutes 55 remaining as per the controller and the technology in the drone. but it is saying low battery. The Air 3S, would you believe, is on 25%. And again, total flight time well over 28 minutes now. So it could get quite interesting. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fight the controllers to try and keep these drones in the air for as long as I physically can. And if that involves me going slightly higher, I'm going to, just so I can keep them in the air, as I say, as long as we can. So here we go. So now I've got a forced landing on the Mavic 3 Pro. The forced landing coming at 8%. Air 3S is still on 20%. Low battery on the Mavic 3 Pro. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, it's saying. Forced landing in progress, but I've got my finger on the controller, so I'm keeping it up in the air, so there's no forced landing happening. 6% on the Mavic 3 Pro. Still my finger stopping it from landing. Time's just under 31 minutes. Air 3S is doing incredibly well. 18% battery left. 5 minutes 45 in the air. Mavic 3 Pro is now down to 5%. Again, if you watch my finger, if I let my finger off the controller, it's going to land. So I'm just keeping it up. Just counting down to 1 minute remaining on the Mavic 3 Pro. 3% battery, still in the air. Okay, we've now got a low battery warning from the Air 3S at 15% battery. That's showing 4 minutes 55 seconds left. Mavic 3 Pro is still in the air. Counting down the last 18 seconds for the Mavic 3 Pro. As per the telemetry. We're on 1% battery showing. Okay, we're now on 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 0 time remaining, 0% battery. The drone is still in the air. We're at 32 minutes, 30 seconds. Come on, Mavic 3. So the Mavic 3 Pro flight time in a hover with maybe different conditions to this is 37 seconds. Sorry, 37 minutes. We're now knocking on the door at 33 minutes. The Mavic 3 Pro is still in the air. 12% on the Air 3S. The Mavic 3 Pro has been on 0% battery for like 2 minutes now and it's still in the air. Which just shows you there's extra redundancy in these batteries. We're still on 0%, still in the air. Right, here we go. I've got a critical low battery on the Air 3S now at 10%. Still with 3 minutes remaining. It's going to get quite hectic here in a minute. Come on, Mavic 3 Pro. 3 minutes. So, no. Come on, Mavic 3 Pro. We're coming up to 34 minutes. Flight time is claimed 37 minutes. Air 3S is at 9%. Well over 34 minutes now. Right, here we go. I've got a landing warning on the Air 3S. The Air 3S is trying to land. So I'm now controlling both with a controller. Here we go, Air 3S, no, Mavic 3 Pro. That's exactly 34.5 minutes with a claim time of 37. That's amazing. And I'm sitting here manually holding the Air 3S. Let's get a bit more height. We're at 7%. So we're now knocking on the door. Let's get the phone. We're now knocking on the door at 34 minutes. 6% battery on the Air 3S. 2 minutes of telemetry flight time remaining. Forced landing in progress, but again, I'm holding the stick to keep it in the air. It's got noticeably quieter because the Mavic 3 Pro has landed. 5% battery. So getting so close to the flight times. And again, you know, every condition is different. Coming up to 36 minutes. Come on, Air 3S. Getting down to the last 3%, 54 seconds remaining on the flight telemetry. I'm still keeping my finger on the controllers to stop it forced landing. We're well over 36 minutes now. Incredibly long time. Coming down to the last 30 seconds of DJI telemetry. 1% battery. Okay, we're now on 0% battery for the Air 3S. 0% battery, it's still in the air. We've now touched 37 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. I've got to say that. You ready? You recording? Okay. It's interesting because it's bobbing up and down now because I'm trying to hold it up. We're now approaching 37.5 minutes. Still on 0%. We've got to get to 41 minutes. Forced landing. Everything's bleeping and flashing. We're knocking on the door at 38 minutes now. Incredible. We're well over 38 minutes now. Come on, Air 3S, let's get to 39 minutes. 39 minutes in a hover is incredible. And it just shows you how good the battery technology just continues to get from DJI. Come on, let's hit that 39 minutes. Still holding it in a hover. Everything's on 0 now. Approaching 39 minutes. Yes, we're over 39 minutes. With the air, here we go, critical low battery, here we go. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Come on, let's get to 40 minutes.
Did it just stop recording?
No, it was me. Come on, Air 3S. Come on, let's hit that 40 minutes. 30 more seconds, please. Oh, here we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here we go. 39 minutes, 47 seconds with a claimed flight time of 41 minutes. That's our closest yet. And it just shows you, that's literally one of the latest and greatest from DJI. And it just shows you how battery technology is changing. That is incredible. That is so, so close. Let's get some bigger drones out now. But first of all, let's just check the temperatures to see how hot the battery's got. And then we'll conduct our last heavy lift drone test and see what the results are there. I've got my hand warmers. These are quite warm. I love a warm battery, certainly in the winter. Let's get the gun out on this one. That's 43 degrees C. So that's the Mavic 3 Pro 43. And the Air 3S is 39.5. So that's interesting. So that's slightly cooler than the Air 3S. It's now time to get the big drones out. This is the new DJI Matrice 4. This has a claimed hover flight time of around 42 minutes. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how close we can get to that. And in this huge box here is the Inspire 3. This takes 2 batteries, which you'll see in a second when we do our temperature test before we get going. And this has a claimed flight time of 25 minutes. Let's get the Matrice 4 unboxed with the props in, battery ready, and then let's get the Inspire 3 out. Battery temp check on the Matrice 4. That's currently 18.5 degrees. Requires 2 batteries to fly it. Let's do a quick check on them. So that's 21 degrees. Let's get this one in the air. Let's get the Inspire 3 in the air. Won't let me. So automatically you can see it's much windier. So that's the test underway. As you can see, the Inspire 3 is certainly more dominant. It's much more powerful than anything we've flown here so far today. And the Matrice 4 is now sitting in its hover. Coming up just over 1 minute. Let's check back at about the 10-minute mark, because I say 26 minutes, 41 minutes. Let's check back at 10 minutes. As we approach just under 10 minutes, the Inspire 3 is on 55% battery on both batteries, which is interesting. Loads of stuff's flying everywhere. The draft the Inspire 3 is creating is unbelievable. There's also lots of noise, if you can hear background noise. It's the noise the Inspire 3. And as the cameraman looks, there's stuff flying off the walls and everything. So the washing here is crazy. So I hope that doesn't affect the results. And the Mavic 4 is showing 22 minutes remaining with a 69% battery, and we're well over the 10-minute mark. It's incredible the wash that's coming from the Inspire 3, because obviously the props are so big. It's amazing the wash coming from the Inspire 3 as the propellers are so big. It's a really good test. It's going really well. Already some really interesting results. Let's see how close we can get these 2 drones to the claimed manufacturer's hover speed. Okay, so 17 and a half minutes. I've just got my first warning on the Inspire 3. It's given me a warning because both the batteries are now on 18% with just over 4 minutes of flight time remaining. As you can see, everything's blowing around. These tests are all conducted at different times, different places, different climates, different altitudes. But hopefully this gives a fair test and a comparison. The wash from the Inspire 3 is something else compared to the rest of the drones. We've just had a warning on the Inspire 3 for an auto land. That come on at 10%. So it now says landing pretty low battery. Again, like all the other drones, I'm having to hold the throttle to keep it in the air. So my left stick is up basically, keeping it in thing. All sorts of stuff still falling off the display stand next to me. We're coming up to just over 20 minutes now. Both the Inspire 3 batteries are saying 6%. Okay, we've got all sorts of warning lights going on. There's no flight time remaining at all on the Inspire 3, it's still in the air. Coming up to just under 22 minutes. Okay, that's the Inspire 3, well over 22 minutes now. Now you may find, because the Inspire 3 is in the corner of our unit, it is moving around a little. So the motors may be working slightly harder. Here we go, that's also landed. That's also landed at 22 minutes, 25 seconds. So that's 22 minutes, 25 seconds for the Inspire 3. So that's 35 degrees and 35 degrees. They're exactly the same. Let's just give you an update on the Matrice 4. The Inspire 3, for that weight, to fly that long, it's a huge drone, it's incredible. But it does generate a lot more wash and it does generate a lot more sound, a lot more noise. We've now got auto landing, so now it's going to try and auto land. I'm now keeping it in the air manually like I've done before. We're now over the 32-minute mark. Battery's now showing, I think, 4%. So to try and get a little bit more flight time with the Matrice 4, I'm now going to increase the throttle. So let the height go a little bit higher, let's hold it there. If I take my finger off here, it's just going to drop an auto land. We want to keep it in the air as long as we physically can. Batteries are now showing about 2%. Coming up to just under 34 minutes in the air. There's so many calculations and environments that go into when you're testing. This is a very, very new product. There goes our auto lights. This is a very, very new product. We've probably charged the battery 3 or 4 times. You may find the Inspire 3, for instance, has had 30 or 40 charges on them. Right, so here we go. It's still flying. Okay, we're well over 37 minutes. This has been on 0% battery, maybe for the last 2.5, 3 minutes. Okay, another warning, critically low battery. I think it's going to land. I think it's going to auto land. It's talking to me, critically low battery. It's still in the air. Come on, let's get to 37 minutes. Let's get over 38 minutes, come on. Pushing this drone to the absolute battery limit. Here we go, it's gone. And it touches down at 37 minutes, 53 seconds. And would you believe, we have a critically low battery warning, which is incredible. Now that's landed, let's get the battery out just for a test, just before we discuss the results. A lovely hand warmer. Not that the unit's cold, but it's still nice to have. And that's 39.5 degrees C, so lovely and warm. That concludes our testing of some sub 250 drones, some medium weight drones and some bigger drones. The results to me are really, really interesting, which we're going to share at the end of this video on like a screen and table. Please understand, we are not a test centre, we are not a laboratory. We've decided to make this video because we couldn't find anything on YouTube that tested all these drones and how close you can get to. But you know, for me, being old and being in this industry from the very, very start, for anything to fly for just under 40 minutes is absolutely incredible. And maybe we're just still at the very, very beginning of battery technology, because obviously battery technology gets better and better every year. And with every single release that DJI produced, the batteries get even better. Some really, really interesting results. Let's let you look at the data. That concludes this week's video. How are you getting on with your drone? Please pop in the comments. We'd love to see what type of flight time you're getting, and if weather changes it, wind condition changes it, because I'll be really, really interested to know. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well, because we've got something really, really fun coming next week, which we're trying to film today, but we couldn't due to the weather. As always, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you on the next video.